again, so that I don't know whether they're going back out. Further down the grid, improved to 143.7, so that means that Newsby is now 2 tenths back from Joe McLaren, but that is a very close top sort of 2 or 3 there. P3, Michael Raider, Melon, less than 44 flat, about 6 or so hundredths from Newsby, so that's a very close lap time there. Again, 1/10 for Stanislav Patovic with a 144.2. Behind them, Zach Webb, 144.5. Behind them, Killian Thiel for 144.8. 145 flat for Kirill Shkatov. 145.1 and 145.1. So these guys finished on the exact same lap as they were sort of about 5 minutes ago in qualifying, which is interesting to see. So that was Denis Stanovic and Marcin Shibor. Currently, Joe McLaren has got the best second. The best second was actually set by Kirill Shkatov, which was interesting. They were set as well. USB set the same best sector 3 as Joe McLaren, so of course it is going to be quite a tight race for these guys. Right, we'll do a run through of the grid and see what liveries we have got going on. So as I said, starting the front row is Joe McLaren in the number 4 Ferrari. Behind them, we've got the number 91 Ferrari of USB. We've got Leda in the 279 Porsche. And Stanislav Kartovic in the number 7 Aston Martin. Zach Webb in the number 965 Mustang. Killian Thiel in McLaren, for the number 918 McLaren. Kirill Skatov in the number 887 Mustang. Denis Stanovic in the 216 Ferrari. Marcin Shibor in the 41 Lexus. The 155 Mustang for Luka Butol rounds out the top 10. So as I said, this is a 12 hours race. There is donation penalties this race. It is a fundraiser for Mencap. Let me just add the logos to your screen. There we go. So Mencap is a charity that focuses on supporting people with a learning disability. As I said, it is a donation penalty race. So viewers, teammates, you can donate money and you can get the drivers that you see on your screens have penalties or additional ballast. Or whatever it might be. So this is going to be an interesting race. As I said, it's 12 hours long. We've got a grid of about 25 cars or so, and it is very close to the top sort of 10 or so. So these first couple of laps will be important for these drivers, but of course, 12 hours donation penalties won't find the final grid. About 40 seconds left until these guys start heading out. Just getting ready for start. Apologies for the movement. Cars are starting their engines now. 20 seconds until they start moving off. Go 195, this is your 195 gap. Turn up my microphone, is that any better? As I said, cars are moving off and starting their formation lap. We will have one formation lap and then we will start this race. So you can see the grid pulling away now. It seems like the Mercedes is having some connection issues as they are floating through the pack. We'll head on board with Joe McLaren then as they come around the first sector, obviously in their formation laps. They're not at full speed at the moment, but within about half a lap or so, they will be at full speed. Very nice liveries out there today. I'll have a browse throughout the race, but we've got Joe McLaren up front, obviously for the Tempo Esports Ferrari. There's a nice decal of pink and blue on that car. Just behind them, obviously you've got USB in the RSR Rocket Stallion Racing Ferrari. That's quite a nice golden Ferrari there with some yellow sort of insert bits. Got Baller Squad Racing, we did view them during qualifying as well, but the 279 Porsche has got quite a nice sort of baby blue toning on this car. Zach Webb for Project Low-Key in the green, forest green sort of Mustang there. That's quite a nice livery with some nice pattern design on the bonnet. Stanislav Kartovic in the white Aston Martin with some golden inserts. Sometimes basic is good. Do with a few ACM logos on there though. I'll take this moment to go through who we have sponsoring today's race. This race is brought to you by RaceForge, introducing RaceForge, the first free and open online directory for ACC setups by the community for the community. You have the ability to compare setups, share setups, and even edit setups from within the website to utilize your racing career and make sure that you are getting the best performance out of each car. So please do check out RaceForge. I'll post the link in the chat. That is raceforge.org. G-Portal as well. G-Portal offers premium game servers with the best hardware, a clear web interface, and fair prices. We run all of our races on G-Portal, and of course today's race will be ran on G-Portal as well. So please do check out G-Portal if you have any interest. That is g-portal.com. The link to that is also in the chat. Hello, Rick. Good to see you. Let's go, Kulikov. Got some support in chat for Kulikov. Carter Vic, we've got some support for Carter Vic as well. They are coming around the final two corners now, ready to start the 12 hours of Watkins Glen. As I said, this is a fundraiser for charity, so if you see a driver or a team that you wish to penalise, that is acm-racing.com/Mencap. You can donate for as little as £3 for a 5-second penalty, and so on. And of course, all proceeds go to Mencap, which is a charity supporting people with a learning disability. Right, so we are heading into the final corner of the formation lap. The cars are lining up double file for the start of this 12-hour race. As they head towards the line, it is green light. All cars are going. A few cars move out of their lines, but it is Ferrari into the first corner as Joe McLaren covers off the outside, looking for the racing line into turn 1. Managing to get it quite cleanly there. Further down the grid, we've got quite a bit of a battle for Denis Stanovic as he is going up the hill in towards sector 2. Quite a tight section through here, so cars will have to be making sure that they are leaving space around. The Ball Squad Racing Porsche is having quite a bit of a battle at the moment with Kartovic behind and Usaby in front. Looks like they'll be going double file into these corners, and of course they are quite tight and fast, so very brave of them to try and do that. But they are looking like a clean lap 1 so far as Joe McLaren is leading up the grid. Further behind, I don't think we've got any car that's over 1 second away from anyone. It's quite a close battle back here in P16 between Patrick Forget and Spinner as they try and take the inside line into that corner. Running slightly wide, but there's no issues there as the Ferrari of Spinner takes that position. Back up towards the front of the grid, Denis Stanovic is right behind Zach Webb in the number 965 Mustang as they are now heading in towards the ending of lap 1. We try and trail in behind the Mustang for these sections. Obviously there's quite a few overtaking points at Watkins, but there are some quite difficult sections to go side by side as well, particularly at the end of sector 1 where you have the tight couple of corners, the tight chicane before the long right-hander. That is very difficult to go side by side through there, and I guarantee that we'll see some incidents through there today. There is live stewarding, of course, so you can see that car number 7 has got a stop-go 10-second penalty, which will give a big impact on their race today, which is unfortunate to see. And you've also got number car 444 receiving a 5-second penalty as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the penalties go through the day. We've got Joe McLaren still in P1, gaining a 0.6 second advantage in that lap 1, and also setting the fastest lap of the race with a 1:47.5. Usaby is following up Joe McLaren with setting the previous lap as a 1:47.9, so about 4/10 slower than Joe McLaren that lap, but they are staying within about a second of Joe McLaren, so plenty of opportunity for them to take. Zach Webb is just overtaking Kartovic, as it looks like Kartovic had a bit of a mishap on the exit of the chicane there. They found themselves now in P7 battling with the 918 car of Teal in the Flying Force Racing McLaren. Obviously having the outer line of that corner will leave them with a little bit of a disadvantage into the straight, but it looks like they've kept the position against Shkatov in the 887 Mustang, who is now actually having a battle with Shibor in the number 41 Lexus. Been a very clean start of the race for this one. Obviously 12 hours of racing, there's plenty to go, so lap 1 is not the most important. As I said before, it is a fundraiser for charity, so if you feel like donating to For example, Joe McLaren, who's winning the race, you can do for as little as £3, and it does go towards a good cause. Carter-Vick right behind the Flying Force Racing McLaren there, trying to gain back up those positions that they lost in Sector 2 this lap. But as we head into the second lap, Joe McLaren is still leading, about 1 second back from Usby as they head into the first corner. And of course, Carter-Vick there going into the pit lane to serve their stop go 10-second penalty. Grid has started to spread out a little bit more though. We do have some battles. Martin Seaborg currently up the inside of the number 887 Mustang. That position was gained quite well there. Further back we've got Spinner still having a battle with Hatsune Miku now in the number 444 Mercedes in front. They're heading towards the chicane now. This is where a lot of cars make that mistake. These curbs are quite brutal. They do have a lot of bouncing, and if you take it wrong, of course, as you've just seen Hatsune Miku do, it does have some quite bad detriments. So their car has now been catapulted down into P20 as they're rejoining the circuit. They'll have a bounce over those curbs as well, hopefully causing no further incident. But yeah, they are now down in P22 as a result of that spin. So as I was just saying about those curbs, they are indeed brutal and they do cause incidents just like that to occur. So I'm sure we'll see more of that throughout the race. Hamza Badir currently 0.1 second in front of Kulikov, as Kulikov in the Aston Martin is aiming to get himself into P16. The grid at the front has started to spread out a little bit, with Michael Leder actually now setting the fastest lap of the race with a 1:45.9. They're currently 0.5 behind Usby, and you can see Joe McLaren up front quite a bit further back, about 1.6 seconds between Usby and McLaren there. As they head out to finish the third lap of the race, Joe McLaren goes and takes the fastest lap of the race again with a 1:45.1. Going to be having a good race up front. It might be quite quiet, so they might need some donation penalties given at some point to sort of balance the grid. But Martin Seaborg currently going up the inside of the 887 Mustang, having a bit of deja vu there, as the position is gained up the hill, but it's going to be the outside line for the next part. It's going to be a drag race down the straight. The Mustang versus the Lexus is a good combination for a drag race, but it looks like the Lexus has got the edge on the exit of that corner. So it's going to be single file through the chicane, which is of course good. We saw last lap that it was a dangerous chicane, as actually there both cars have made a mistake. The Lexus has gone too hard into the corner, ran wide, and the Mustang has done the exact same thing and spun out on the exit. So this chicane is cursed, along with the commentator's curse. It's going to be a very interesting race through there, as both cars made a mistake. The 155 Ford is now having a battle with the Lexus, the number 41 Lexus in front. Obviously, we saw them making a slight mistake, going wide at the chicane just prior. But they are still going strong in P7. All Squad Racing now sat in P3 still, and about 0.7 seconds behind Usby for this lap. It was quite a chaotic lap, but I believe up front here it was fairly quiet. Going to be running out of this corner, slightly hesitant on the throttle there. They were nervous about the wall on the exit, but they have set a 1:45.8 compared to Usby's 1:45.6, so that's another couple tenths taken out of that gap there. It's now about 0.8 seconds behind. Usby is about 279 Maleda. Usby is now about 2.3 seconds back from McLaren. You can see Joe McLaren up front there, just taking that blue flag up the left-hand side. Usby will be tackling that problem soon. I believe that is the blue flag of Edward Dan in the number 777 Mercedes, so they should have hopefully no issues allowing Usby by. We'll have a watch of that. Further down the grid, we've got Andre Sousa having a little battle up the chicane, but as soon as we switch there's another incident. They've gone wide, a little bit of damage and majority time loss there, which is not as bad as it could have been, but Andres Sousa was attempting a move up the inside of that chicane, which is a very dangerous position to be in, but well done for attempting that. It's going to be another chase to get back up to number 124 in the Mustang. Been a bit of an incident behind. Looks like Kirill Skatov, and seems like the 887 Ferrari there, or 887 Mustang, and the Hamza Badir 399 Ferrari having a little bit of a battle, or a little bit of a scrap and collision at the left-hander there. It looks like Hamza has had another incident there, just losing control of the car into the corner. Going to be needing to return to the pit lane for that one, but hopefully this should stick out. There's plenty of the race to go. They've got more than enough that they can gain. Joe McLaren still up front, Usby still in P2, now gained 1.1 seconds on Maleda in the Bolo Squad Racing Porsche. You can see the gap on your screens there. Zach Webb running about 1.8 seconds back from Maleda now. Denis Stanovic 0.8 seconds back from Zach Webb. Grid is definitely spreading out up at the front. Kulikov 0.1 seconds back from Sousa. Obviously we saw Sousa making a mistake previous lap on the inside of this chicane. They're going to be going side by side into the chicane again. We'll switch camera, see if there is any action between these two. Looks like a fairly clean overtake there for Kulikov as they go past Andres Sousa into P12. Obviously Kulikov currently has a 5-second penalty, so shouldn't be a problem for now, and of course there's 12 hours left of the race, so 5 seconds is as good as nothing. Further back we've got now a battle between Jacob Jucha and Ty. That is the battle for 15th place, the number 37 Porsche and the number 729 Lamborghini making a late lunge up the inside there. That's going to be an interesting one for the stewards to look at, but Jucha is going to stay behind Ty for that one, about 0.1 seconds between them now. We'll stick on these guys to see how the battle develops, but it's going to be up the inside again for Jucha. Just having a slight bit of door banging there on exit. It's going to be side by side into the third to last corner. Going to be dropping back a bit there on apex. Seems like a worse exit for Jacob in the 729 Lamborghini. Seems like they've started to spread out now, so we'll head back up the grid. Marcin Cibor still defending from Butol in the Mustang behind. 0.7 seconds between these guys, not a lot, but also not a little. You know, it's 0.8 seconds, that's quite a sizable gap. Should be still a bit of slipstream on the straights for that Mustang behind, but I think the Lexus is more than comfortable for now. Here from the Lexus's, from the Mustang's perspective now as they break into this corner behind the Lexus. Lexus taking a tighter line on the corner there. We'll get a better exit out of this corner. 0.7 seconds, 0.8 seconds. Who's going to take this corner better? Seems like the Mustang is taking a tighter line this time, but we'll see who gets the better exit. Late on the brakes for Butol there, running slightly wide off the apex. It's going to be dropping a few tenths of a second from Shibor now, as they had a fairly decent previous corner. They were going to be going tight for the late apex now, as the Mustang is a little bit cautious on exit. If you're watching, say hello in chat. If you're supporting someone, let us know and we can hop on to their view. Just the size of this there. Of course, this is a race for Mencap, a charity supporting people with learning disabilities. You can donate for penalties to be given to teams, or you can donate to add ballast to teams. The link for that is in the stream. some support here for Bagari and Smooney. Smooney is currently down in P17, about 0.4 seconds back from P15. This is a little battle in front. Future's about 0.1 seconds back from Ty. Obviously, we saw these guys battling just a lap earlier, but whoa, Smooney is making a late lunge into that corner and nearly running into the back of Future. Thankfully, keeping it clear. And jump on board with Future and see what they can do about Ty in front. Braking later for the corner, almost running into the rear of the Porsche there, but keeping it nice and tidy. Gonna be a better exit for Jacob here in the Lamborghini. I don't think they'll be making a dive, or maybe they will be. It'll be very, very close. Slight bump on the rear there. Stu's of course going to be looking at that, and of course Smooney had no chance but to run into the side of Jacob there. It's unfortunate we always catch the incidents, but this is racing and this is how the tables turn. As Smooney is running wide there. Running wide again, it looks like Forge is going to be passing there. Number 195 McLaren, don't think we've been on board with their car so far, but that's the Threshold Racing Team in the black, purple and gold McLaren. Quite nice livery on that. I think it's a default schema, but it's looks very good nevertheless. Up at the front of the grid, USB is now 4.6 seconds back from Joe McLaren, so that gap is extending quite far. And of course, you can donate for time penalties, you can donate for ballast, so you can see there is 4.7 seconds between P1 and P2. If you donate 5 seconds at the end of this hour, there will be no seconds between these two. Maleda in the 279 Bowler Squad Racing is 2 seconds back from Usby. Zach Webb about 1.8 seconds back from Maleda, so these guys are sort of settling into the long game now. Obviously it is a 12-hour race. These guys will be looking to settle down and keep it consistent more than fighting for position at this stage. Unison in the DSRT RJB Solutions McLaren, that's the number 6 McLaren here, is about 0.7 seconds back from the Mustang. Lieber, as you see the camera trying to pan there to get the two in frame. Seems like there'll be a battle brewing between these two in the future. Jake Spinner in the 757 Motorsport Ferrari, 0.3 seconds back from Sousa. Mooney currently 0.1 seconds back from 195 McLaren. A little bit of contact and it's going to be a spin there. Obviously, that keeps switching, they keep being penalties. I'd just stick to one singular car at this rate. It's getting quite bad, but the stewards will be looking at that, and of course, I believe Mooney potentially returning the position there, and potentially not. But there will be a penalty given out for that incident. As I said, it's live stewarding today, and there is donation penalties. So, yeah, you can see the position being returned there. Mooney, well done. You can have another attempt at that position, but has allowed Kartovic to go through. They, of course, had a stop-go penalty at the start of the race, so they are now up into P15, so done quite well to get into this spot. Jake Spinner, still behind Sousa in front, 0.1 seconds, not taking a dive into this corner, taking the smart option of getting a better exit, which it looks like they will do here. They're going to be closing up on the Porsche down this straight. It's not the longest of straights, so I'm not sure a position is going to be gained, but it seems like the Porsche actually had a decent exit there as they stay about the same distance between each other. It's going to be a little unsteady on the apex there for Jake Spinner, but it could be a good exit nevertheless. We'll see who does better on this corner. Seems like the title line is taken by the 991 Porsche, closely followed by the 757 Ferrari, which we are on board with. Second to last corner now, tighter apex for Spinner. It's the final corner. A lot of time gained there on the final corner. It's going to be battle of who gets the better exit, which I think is the 991 Porsche there. It'll be a drag race down to the first corner, but I don't think Spinner's going to be making a move on this corner. Again, gaining time on the apex of that corner. We'll be looking to find those positions where he does gain a lot of time, as that is where the move is going to be made. But for now, it's just keeping it consistent. You don't want those penalties, you don't want those battles. You want to keep it consistent and you want to keep it clean. Kulikov having a little bit of a battle with Bagari getting in that battle as well. About 0.5 seconds back from Kulikov, who is 0.3 seconds back from Butol. These guys in front having a right chase. It's going to be a battle of who breaks the latest. It seems like it was the Mustang in that one, but the Aston Martin potentially will get a better exit as they run out wide. We'll jump on board with the Aston Martin to see what they can do into the final few corners. Braking at the same point, both going to be taking the same apex. It could be a better exit from the Aston Martin here. But of course they won't be able to do anything on this straight, and the Lexus does have that acceleration as well. Now on to the second to last straight, now onto the second to last corner. The Aston Martin is going to be taking a wider entry, nearly running onto the grass there, wider exit, almost running off track. I think they did actually run off track there, but the Mustang has run wide on apex, and that's going to allow the 847 Aston Martin to take the position over the inside, and that is it. That is the position gained. One little mistake from that Mustang, and the Aston Martin was in the perfect position to take that position. So they are now up into P7 with Butol down in P8, and of course Bagari now looking to make the most of this, about 0.3 seconds back from Butol. So same thing needs to be done there. Wait for the Mustang to make a mistake, and the position can be gained. There's a battle between Julian Tai and Kartovic. Tai takes the inside line for that apex. It's going to be Kartovic chasing for the position on the exit, having a bit of a flash of the lights there as they head up the hill in sector 1. Looks like the Aston Martin is going to be catching by quite a lot on this straight. It's going to be taking a move up the inside as they come out the hill, and it could be a position gained easily for Kartovic there, just soaring right past on the straights. So that's Kartovic now up into P14. Up ahead, Spinner 0.1 seconds back from Sousa. These guys are still having a pretty decent battle. See just how close these guys are now. They head into sector 3 now. It could be a position gained similar to the one that we saw on the Mustang a lap ago for Spinner. Just needs to wait for that Porsche to make a mistake, and that position can be easily gained. Looks like no mistake from the Porsche for now though, as they take almost a perfect corner there, having a little bit of oversteer on exit, but no problems there. Again, taking that late apex nicely, a good exit there, almost flat on the acceleration. Spinner having a little bit more hesitancy there. It's going to be who can get the better of the final two corners. A little bit unsteady from the apex for Spinner there as well, but it's going to be a battle of speed down this main straight. A little bit unsteady apex, hits the wall on the outside, does the Porsche. So they're both going to be about the same here. It could be a battle for sector 1 over the hill again. But we'll see how this develops. Both into the apex at turn 1, a little bit unsteady from the curb. Sousa taking a little bit wider, keeping it safe, but it's going to be again a drag race towards the sector 2 chicane. Joe McLaren now with a 7-second gap to Usby in P2. So that's almost that entire length of the straight. So Joe McLaren is having a phenomenal race up front here in that 84 Tempo Esports Ferrari. They're having a very good, consistent race up front. So of course, in about 22 minutes, the donation penalties for this hour will be applied if any are donated. So of course, you can add or remove ballast, you can add or remove time penalties. So a 5-second penalty is just £3, and it is stackable, so you could give someone a 60-second penalty for as little as £36. Give someone a drive-through penalty for £15. Stop go 10-second penalty is £23. Stop go 30 seconds is £38. So quite a bit of potential here. And you can also remove or add ballast. Ballast 5 kilos is £4. 10 kilos is £7.50. 20 kilos is £15, and 40 kilos is £30. So of course, if you take the larger amount, it is cheaper, but you can stack them as well as you wish. Car 6 sadly got spun by a car leaving the pit lane, but ACC mechanics are miracle workers, so clean car and back on the road. Car 6, where is car 6? Tunison, yeah, we saw them having a little bit of an incident a few laps back, but they are out on grid and they are still chasing back the positions. They're a little bit far back from car 777, but of course this is a long race. There is plenty of opportunity to make those moves. As car 777 and 63 are actually having a battle here for E19. Takes looks like a position was returned there actually, or that position was actually it was a blue flag. So my mistake. So that number 918 McLaren is making their way through the back of the field. Of course, this is the exciting thing about endurance racing. You see the diversification of the grid fairly quickly. We're only 25 minutes into the race and we already have a bit of blue flag action. And of course, this does play a part in the battles and what happens. Obviously, you can see that Edward Dan got quite a big benefit there from giving the position early and allowing that 63 to actually be disadvantaged by that lapping car. But, play it well and it will play you right. So just keep on top of things. Should be good. Going to be a battle down the straight now. Edward Dan just breezing past that number 63 Ferrari there, like he wasn't even there, as they now are going down into the first corner, taking a very nice apex from Edward Dan there, and leaving the number 63 Smooney in the dust. I know we have quite a bit of support for Smooney in the chat. Of course, if you want me to switch to anyone, if you want me to compensate anyone specific, just let me know and I will do so. But I will keep focus on the battles that we have for now. This blue Mustang, still having a bit of a battle with Bagari. The Lexus up front, Shibor has pulled 1.6 seconds on those two now, so quite a decent gap that has been pulled. The Mercedes of Bagari gaining quite a bit on that corner there, but having a worse exit, dropping back down to 0.4 seconds, 0.5 now. Go on board the wing camera of this Mustang, try and ignore the wing that's blocking half your screen, but be an interesting battle between Mercedes and Mustang here. Obviously the Mustang has that straight line speed, but the Mercedes is very good on its downforce with that massive rear wing, allowing it to grip the road like anything. Yeah, tighter apex for that Mercedes there, 0.4 seconds between these guys, 0.3. We'll go on board with the 95 Mercedes. Is the you see the Mustang in front having quite a nice corner there, running wide almost perfectly, and the Mercedes chasing behind, not too bad either. Yeah, drag race down the start-finish straight into turn 1. A battle of who's latest on the brakes. It's going to be Bagari, going to gain quite a lot, but they're not going to be able to touch the apex on that one. The Mustang gets a better exit for sure, and of course we'll have the straight line speed advantage down the straight, but Bagari's not too far behind. They'll have the slipstream of course, so it'll be probably fairly equal as they head down towards sector 2, and of course the chicane is next, so even if Bagari was close, the position can't be made through the chicane. We've seen quite a few incidents through there already. Yeah, tighter apex for Bagari there. The Mustang just playing it safe after the previous incident. You can see an Aston Martin having a bit of a mishap there. That is the Aston Martin of Liam Taylor in the number 70 Aston Martin. Bagari now 0.2 seconds back from the Mustang, the number 155 Mustang, having a better exit there, but the number 95 gaining quite a lot on braking and apex, so we'll see who does what on the straight here. Of course the Mustang does have that acceleration, but the Mercedes is quite good at cornering should you get it right, so this will be a very interesting battle, to say the least. And into this corner, it's going to be a battle of the brakes. It looks like Bulgari had a fine braking point on that corner. He's going to have an excellent exit on that Mustang here. He's going to be on the outside for this corner, so I'm not sure there's going to be much time gain, but they do stay back into the left-hand side, so that's a nice apex that was hit for Bulgari. Now going to be going into the final two corners, a little bit wide for Bulgari there, so that's going to gain a bit of time for the Mustang, but of course you just need to wait for that mistake to happen. You can gain so much time. As you just saw from that Mercedes there, the Mustang was a little bit unsteady on apex. The Mercedes is now able to pull in behind the Mustang and pull out to potentially joke a move. The Mustang is going to have that apex perfect though, so that Mercedes is going to have a typical job catching up along this straight. The Mustang is of course, as I said before, fastest car in acceleration besides the Lexus, so the Mercedes is going to have a bit of a struggle for that one there. We'll jump back to these guys later. Stanovic currently 0.8 seconds back from Zach Webb. Obviously Zach Webb in the 965 Mustang. Currently in P4. This is a battle for that position, that P4 position. 0.6 seconds back is Denis Stanovic. You can see the Mustang up front having a fairly level apex there, just keeping it nice and tidy in the corner and the exit, which is exactly what you need with 11 hours and 30 minutes left of the race. This race is of course run by ACM Racing. We run almost weekly endurance races. We run up to 5 or 6 races a week on a set of course competizioni, with grid sizes ranging from 20 to 50. We have a 12 hours of Bathurst this time next month, which has, I believe, 50 teams in it, so that should be an interesting one. If you want to check out the racing, acm-racing.com. where you want to head towards. You can view all of our events on there. Join in for a few of our races, and there is plenty of action for you to be having, even if you are new to ACC or you're new to sim racing in general. We've got plenty on the cards for you. As Denis Stanovic makes an excellent exit there compared to the Mustang making a little bit of a mistake on the corner there. It's going to be a battle up the hill. The Mustang is of course going to flex that acceleration. We're actually pulling away from that 216 Ferrari as they now head down straight into Sector 2. As I said, this chicane is pretty difficult to make moves in, so I don't think there's going to be any move made there. But it's been quite a tight apex for the 216 Ferrari. Back on board with the battle that we were having earlier between Bulgari and Butol. Still about second between these two guys, so no more action that we're having at the moment. A little bit unsteady through the chicane there is the Mustang, so 0.5 seconds now compared to that 1 second that was earlier, so we might be jumping back on that battle shortly. We'll go back on with Stanovic for now though, as the gap is now 0.4 seconds to that Mustang in front. Hopefully he'll be able to take it and have some action soon. You see both cars on exit there, making the most of that outside escape. Keeping it tight to the late apex there is the 216 Ferrari. The Mustang, again, acceleration is going to be beneficial for him. Both slightly wide of the apex, but both having a good exit. It's going to be a battle of the brakes on this one. Both keeping it tight to the corner. Mustang running out a little bit wide and nearly hitting the wall there, so that could be a better exit for this 216 Ferrari, but with that acceleration of the Mustang, I'm not sure what benefit it's going to provide. Both braking fairly late into turn 1. Mustang taking a perfect apex there. The 216 Ferrari following behind. 0.3 seconds now. As I've missed it, but Bulgari has passed Butol now. Let's see if we can go back and see what actually happened there. So as they're coming into the final two corners, the Mercedes brakes later. It's going to be side by side into the second to last corner. I think that position was just taken by the Mercedes there. Up the inside as the Mustang was forced to the outside to get the less beneficial exit. So that'll be the position for Bulgari now, and Butol's going to be chasing what they can of that Mercedes. Of course, they do have the acceleration, as I've said plenty of times, so they will be able to catch on straights. They just need to get the cornering exits right. Back on board with Stanovic, obviously Webb just in front, 0.4 seconds up front. Gap is expanding slightly. These are the two closest battles on the grid at the moment. Joe McLaren is about 8 seconds in front of Useby at the moment, 8.4, 8.5. Still with the fastest lap of the race with a 1:45.050. So Useby is going to need find some pace in his game to get on board with Joe McLaren, or get out the wallet and start spending some money donating to Mencap. Of course, this is a charity race. We are donating and the funds go towards Mencap, a charity dedicated to supporting people with a learning disability. Going towards a great cause this is, so if you do have some extra cash that you wish to donate and see some battles on track, donate, give some people some penalties, give some people some ballast, and we'll see what we can achieve. So Stanovic 0.1 seconds back from Webb now. It's getting very close between these two. We're going to have the slipstream down the straight. Again, can't do anything in this apex here, so Stanovic is going to have to stay back nice and calm, which is looking like that's happening. Zach Webb taking a wider apex for this corner, but it seems like there'll be no problem there. Stanovic having a slightly better corner, but I don't think they'll be able to make a position. They do look to the inside, but they don't go for it, potentially sending a joke move on Webb. Webb didn't fall for it, and Stanovic ends up going slightly wide. Didn't get caught off by the curbs there though, so decent job for Stanovic to keep it in. Further down, we do have a battle with Spinner and Edward Dan. I think we saw Edward Dan having a little bit of a scrap early, but it seems like that position was just handed to Jake Spinner there. Maybe potentially an earlier incident, as Jake Spinner said thank you there. So I think they potentially had an earlier incident or something there, which is why that position was given. Glen Teal, Flying Force Racing, about 0.9 seconds back from Lee Burt, the Mustang up front. Bit of battle developing for these guys. Back on board with Stanovic though at the end of the lap number 20. We're crossing the line 0.1 seconds back. It could be a look at the inside, maybe not, into turn 1 here. Who gets the better exit? It could be Stanovic here, taking the slipstream advantage of the Mustang up the hill. And that Mustang just breezes away. Even with the Ferrari and the slipstream, the Mustang is just too overpowered with that straight line speed. But actually it was a worse apex there for the Mustang, and Stanovic is now through. That position has been gained. It's P4 for Stanovic. We're looking up the inside to try and regain that position, but that is how the cookie crumbles. You make a mistake through the chicane, and that position will be taken. So we've seen that twice now where cars have been able to just take a position purely from others' mistakes. So that's the thing. If you stay behind, keep it consistent, wait for the driver in front to make a mistake, that's an easy position for yourself. On board with Glen Teal then, they've definitely caught up to Lee Burt in front, the number 124 Mustang, who you can see on your screens. Going away down the straight, Glen Teal's going to be braking late and keeping it nice and tidy on the apex there, going to be following behind the Mustang down the straight. Flying Force Racing McLaren does have quite a unique but quite a nice livery with the black, pink and white decals. 918 McLaren, 0.7 seconds back from the top 10 at the moment. We can see what they can do in the rest of the 12 hours. Back on with the action. Stanovic is now back behind Webb, so these guys have swapped positions back at some point. Stanovic is going to be looking for that mistake from Webb again. I think Stanovic probably made a mistake allowing Webb to ease past. Again, annoying for Stanovic as they were chasing behind Zach Webb for so long, finally getting that position, and then a lap later ended up losing it. But they are actually getting a better exit there as Project Low-Key Mustang gets a slightly unstable exit, and Dennis Stanovic sends a Joker up the inside, sending the Mustang slightly wide actually on the worst exit on the upper corner as well. Really very close to that wall there. Gonna be a battle of speed down the straight. Stanovic now in the slipstream of the Mustang, but as we saw earlier, that Mustang is still able to pull away even with the slipstream, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do. Glen Teal, 1.2 seconds back from the Mustang. It's everyone's battling Mustangs here, so I think the Mustang is a popular car at Watkins Glen. Both getting about the same exit of the corner there, so it could be the Mustang pulling away down the straight. The McLaren is fast in the straights, but the Mustang does have that acceleration advantage. The gap is widening slightly, about 5 seconds now. 0.6. Them having a little bit of a mistake there. You can see them on the inside as a yellow flag, but no issues there. Wonderful driving. It is some good driving out there today. We've got plenty of battles, particularly between Mustangs. We've got Dennis Stanovic up here battling for P4. They did gain that position, but they did end up losing it due to another mistake a lap later. And we've got Glen Teal back here, about 0.8 seconds back now, trying to battle for P10 with Liebert in front. Stanovic again, so close to that Mustang. It must be annoying to trail behind that Mustang for so long, but it is fun racing to watch nevertheless. The Mustang getting slightly wide on the apex and the exit of the corner there, getting slightly unsteady. The number 216 Ferrari, who we are on board with, having to actually back off of the accelerator to avoid running into the Mustang there. Number 444 and number, I believe that was 847, having a little bit of a mishap on the first corner there. Kim Max Hustle, who we saw earlier actually, this Mercedes have a little bit of a mistake on the chicane that's coming up. I think that's why they are currently down in P24, but well done for these guys for continuing. And Kulikov must have had a bit of a mistake as well. Of course, that's the 847 Aston Martin. They've now dropped down 3 or 4 positions, leaving it so that Glen Teal is in P10 now, but is now battling for P7 with Liebert. Wanted to join myself, but sadly at school. At least I have this broadcast. Yep. Yeah, we do run plenty of races. We run races almost every Saturday, 6 weeks straight of endurance racing, and of course 5 sprint races a week on top of that, up to 3 hours long. Most of them probably about 60 minutes long though. Plenty of action here at ACM, so if you do want to check us out, that is acm-racing.com. All events are on our website, all the stewarding is on our website, and of course for this race we are fundraising for Mencap, so if you fancy donating, the link is on the website as well. Dennis Stanovic, 0.1 seconds back from Zach Webb here. I'm going to stick on board with these guys for a little bit, but I might actually go back to number 847 as there's a little bit of a 3-car battle here for P9. Obviously Kulikov we saw earlier having that incident with car number 444. Dropped back a couple of positions, but is now chasing to get back into the top 10 with Glen Teal 0.1 seconds in front, also battling with Liebert for that position. It could be Kulikov trying to gain the most out of this though. The McLaren getting slightly unsteady on the exit there. It's going to be a battle of acceleration up this hill. Aston Martin having the outside line now. We saw earlier that these two were having a battle. Aston Martin seems to have gotten that position now, though, and will be chasing down Lee Burton, trying to do the job that Killian Teal was trying to do, but now has brought Kartovic into this battle as well. 0.2 seconds back. That is the second white Aston Martin, the number 7 Aston Martin in the rear. There's plenty of battles along the grid, and of course we are 45 minutes into this 12-hour race, so plenty more battles to come. And it looks like Kartovic has actually made that position gain there with 918 running wide on that corner, and Kartovic able to take that with ease. So I think these guys were originally ahead of the Mustang and the McLaren. They did have a bit of a collision or something like that, which caused them to be behind, so these positions are a little easier for them to gain, but we'll see how they do. It's now Aston Martin versus Aston Martin versus Mustang. I myself am an Aston driver for the majority of the time, so I can agree with these guys' choice of car. Joe McLaren is flying, yeah, 10 seconds ahead now, and 9.7 seconds gap to Usually behind, taking it pretty much as well as they can as they exit the corner there. They're going to be basically hot lapping for 12 hours in the number 84 Ferrari. Usually 10 seconds back in a Ferrari as well. Very fast driver, one of the most successful drivers in ACM, winning 9 different championships, 3 different seasons, I think it would be 4 different seasons or something like that. So a very successful driver is Usually, but they are currently in P2, about 10 seconds in front of Maleda in the Baller Squad Racing Porsche. I'm going to jump back to these guys as there is a very close battle between these two. Of course, these two are jostling backwards and forwards throughout the past sort of 4 or 5 laps now. We're going to jump on board with these guys because, again, it's just constant battling. I don't know where to look on the grid. I'm going to stick with these guys because there's sort of 3 different battles happening at once. So Kulikov and Kartovic have been able to gain the positions on Lee Burton Teal. So now that promotes Kulikov and Kartovic to P9 and P10 with Lee Burton Teal in P11 and P12. So the original battle of Teal trying to get into P10 is now Teal trying to get into P11. They're saying that many championships, yet still 10 seconds behind. Yeah, Joe McLaren is a very fast driver here at ACM. There is a leaderboard on the website. I believe they are in the sort of top end of the leaderboard, if I can try and find them. Potentially not, but yeah, Usually is second place for total laps, done 7,831 laps with ACM. They have a pace rating of 73.06, ACM rating 483.25, and of course you view all of their results on there as well. That is acm-racing.com. You can view the leaderboard at the link I've just posted in chat. You can also donate to Mencap. The link for that is pinned, and there's plenty else on the website. So Denis Stanovic still trying to chase for Zach Webb here, still just behind that Mustang, 0.6 seconds now. It must be fun, but it must be annoying for Denis Stanovic being this close to P4. But of course, in a 12-hour race, you kind of wish that you do have a bit of a battle, as 12-hour races can get a bit boring after a few hours. So these starting stints should be pretty good for the 2 teams here, number 965 and number 216. Number 965 is driving with Filip Felinski, another very fast driver here at ACM, and number 216, Denis Stanovic, is racing with David Zaturka. Not sure we've raced with David Zaturka before, so I'm not sure on their speed, but hopefully they'll be able to have a battle with Filip Felinski whenever these two get together. A little bit of a tap on the exit of the corner there from Denis Stanovic, the Ukrainian driver, hitting the exit of the corner's wall and potentially picking up a bit of damage while trying to push for P4. Now 0.3 seconds between these guys. Still on the rear of that Mustang. And Stanovic trying to get whatever he can out of that Mustang, trying to force him into another mistake to try and take that position. Worser exit for that Mustang there. Dennis Stanovic is going to be trying to make the most of this. Getting a little bit unsteady on the exit there, so that Mustang is able to pull away. You can see the acceleration on that thing. It's just crazy. But as they both go diving into the corner, Dennis Stanovic is going to be tight to the apex as possible. Getting a better exit than the Mustang there, but again the Mustang just accelerating away. It's going to be heading into the final 3 corners of this 28th lap. Both taking that corner well. Potentially a better exit for Stanovic there, but I think again that Mustang's going to pull away. Once again, we are sponsored by G-Portal. They offer our race servers and they do a very good job of it. We have ran 24-hour races before with no issues with the server or anything like that. They have a clear web interface with the best hardware. So they offer premium game servers. If you do want to check them out, the link to G-Portal is in the chats. That is g-portal.com with the free as Big Brain Racing. We're also sponsored by RaceForge. RaceForge is the first free open online directory for ACC setups by the community, for the community. You can edit, you can share, you can view setups all from the website itself, so you can tune your setups how you please and try and reference it from other setups on the website just to fine-tune your performance and get that final few tenths out of your car. The link to that is raceforge.org, also in the chat. Dennis Stanovic still just behind that Mustang, trying to eke out every little tenth that they can get, trying to find every single gap that exists. They're trying to learn where Zach Webb is inconsistent, trying to learn where that position can potentially be gained, where a move can be made, where a mistake can be made. Every bit of information is taken into account for these battles. Smart racing from Dennis, yep, of course. Dennis Stanovic trying to eke out as much as they can from Zach Webb, trying to force that error, trying to force that position to be ceded as they now head into the first corner for the 30th lap. Got to be some of the closest racing that we have seen. It's been 0.1 seconds between these two guys for the majority of the first hour. And of course, in 3 minutes, this is when the first donation penalties can be raised, if they want to be. First donation has been made to the fundraiser. £5 has been donated from Mark. No comment on it though, so no penalty will be applied to anyone. Around when do the first pit stops happen? Yeah, so there is a 65-minute stint timer that is active on today's race, so the drivers have to come into the pit lane before they hit 65 minutes of driving. So in the next sort of 10 minutes or so, these cars will have to come into the pit lane, and of course strategy does come into play with that. You can try and gain as much time to try and shorten that final stint, try and push yourselves as much as they can. Yep, the donators can put a penalty on someone, so if you donate £4, for example, you can give someone 5 kilograms of ballast, and that is stackable, so you can build it up. So 5. You donate £20, for example, that's 5 times 5, so 25 kilos, add a 21 of your choice, or you can just buy the multiplied double, so 10 kilos is £7.50, 20 kilos is £15, and 40 kilos is £30. And of course, that is all stackable, so you can apply ballast to someone, you can apply time penalties to someone. As Zach Webb has gone wide on that corner there, we're going to just jump back to this battle. It seems like that position will be maintained by Zach Webb, but it was a mistake that was forced by Dennis Stanovich there. Again, she's going to be stuck behind that Mustang, but that's what he's going to be learning. He's going to be learning what caused that mistake, going to be learning what they can do to benefit from that next time, and where that position can be gained up the inside of this exit now. It's going to be a drag race down the straight. Dennis Stanovich making the most of that mistake from Zach Webb there, running wide on apex, and it could be a move up the inside into this corner here. Just staying on the inside. Is Stanovich going to be on the outside of this corner though? It'll be interesting to see who comes out in front. Very close racing there, a little bit of door banging between the two cars, but I think Zach Webb is going to come out in front again. It's going to be very tight racing between these two. Dennis Stanovich once again on the outside of the corner, potentially getting the better line there as the position is made into the final corner. Can be seeing who can gain the best on the exit there. Dennis Stanovich making contact with the wall there, giving Zach Webb that better exit. It's going to be a drag race down the start finish straight into turn one. Zach Webb is going to be late on the brakes, takes the position into turn one. Fantastic racing from these guys, just back and forth constantly, but Zach Webb is now once again back in front of Dennis Stanovich. So all that work from Dennis Stanovich is going to need to be done again to gain that position and maintain it. That's the hardest thing. Once you get in that position, you have to maintain it. So yeah, interesting battle between these guys for sure. But back to time penalties, you can add or remove time penalties from someone other than steward given penalties, of course. So a 5-second penalty is £3. That's stackable. You can give someone a drive-through penalty for £15. You can give someone a stop-go penalty for £23, or a stop-go 30-second penalty for £38. And I will be clear, all of the funds raised from this are going directly to charity. As a charity for supporting people with a learning disability, that is mencap.org.uk. Of course, any donation that is made goes straight to them, and it is a great cause, so please do consider donating. Mike Bott's just posted the link to our Discord in chat. Have a join of ACM if you want to get involved with some of this racing. Dennis Stanovich running wide on that corner there, so it's going to give Zach Webb a massive lead out there. So we'll jump back to Kartovic now, who is still making his way up the grid, currently behind Bagari. 0.6 seconds between these guys. But as I was saying, if you do fancy joining ACM, joining in with this racing, joining in with this battling, check out our Discord, check out our website, acm-racing.com. Give you everything on there, all our events, all of the stewarding, everything. We've got plenty of events. Ferrari Fun Days, as just mentioned in chat, where there are Ferraris only. We've got Jaguar Fridays, Jaguaries, which is Jaguars only. We have GT4 Mini Series taking place on Wednesdays, Mini Endurance Championship taking place on Thursdays. Plenty of races throughout the week. One-offs on Monday. I think on Monday we have a 60 minutes race of Imola. Fairly simple, but a fun one. So we do have plenty on, one for everyone. We don't require you to be esports pro. We don't require you to be the best driver out there. If you are new to sim racing, as long as you are clean, you are more than welcome into ACM, and you will find someone who is comfortable to battle with you. So please do join if you want to. There's plenty going on, plenty of races for you to take part in. Mark says that they're already in the Discord, and they're planning on joining tomorrow's Ferrari Fun Day. Yeah, good. Look forward to seeing you there. It should be a good event with the Ferraris in that one. A couple of people in the 458, but the majority of people are in the 296. So Stanovich back on the rear of Zach Webb. I feel like this is going to be the theme of the race here. With Dennis Stanovich now 0.5 seconds back from Zach Webb. Also, we saw the mistake that they made a couple laps or a couple corners ago, where they lost out about a second on Zach Webb. Been a bit of jostling between these guys for the first hour. They're going to be coming up on the pit stop time soon. Obviously, the stint timer is 65 minutes. They've been racing for 59 minutes at the moment, so they're going to need to come in at some point. Whoever makes the first move could potentially be going for the undercut, could potentially be going for the overcut. We'll be seeing what these guys do. first corner then. Dennis Stanovic taking that line perfectly. And look at that, on the radar there is currently a little bit of light rain scheduled in half an hour. So that is the great thing about this race. It is supposed to be dry, but there is a chance of light rain throughout the race. So these guys are going to need to be taking this into consideration. This could shake up the entire grid really. The 10-second gap between USB and McLaren could be shaken up by the rain. Obviously if you are on dry tyres in the rain, they don't bode well. You are going to be a lot more slippery. And of course if you do pit for wet tyres but then it doesn't end up raining enough for wet tyres, you're going to be on wet tyres, so you're going to be slower. So strategy does play a key part of this, and it does change up the race quite a bit. Currently it's scheduled for very light rain, only 3 drops on the radar, but it could be developing into more later. Aston Martin there in laps. Stanovic is still behind Zach Webb, 0.4 seconds between these guys. Did I hear rain? Yes, rain is coming. Half an hour, there should be some light drops on the circuit. Not sure on the development of that, but there will be rain in half an hour. So these drivers are going to be worrying now about the stint time. Obviously they have to go into the pit lane during the next 4 minutes, but of course if they do to take dry tyres and it end up raining, they're going to be having to pit again. So all the strategy that was being pre-planned, it gets shaken out of the window by the rain. This is still the closest battle currently out on track. Kulikov in P8 is about 2 seconds back from Bagari. Bagari's actually just gone into the pit lane, so Bagari is the first team to take the pit stop as they are coming down the pit lane now. They're going to be changing, potentially changing tyres, adding in fuel and getting ready for that second stint. So we'll see what they end up going with in a second. So Dennis Stanovic now attempting a move up the inside of Zach Webb. We saw this a few laps ago. We've seen if they learn anything from the previous attempt. Going to be around the outside for the next corner. Going to be a better exit potentially for the Ferrari. It's going to be a drag race down to the next one. Dennis Stanovic in front at the moment. He's been chasing this for the best part of the last hour. Zach Webb currently just dropped back. 0.4 seconds now. I think Zach Webb might potentially come into the pit lane this lap if his tyres are getting old, if he needs fuel. Then he needs to come into the pit lane. We've got some support for Webby in chat, unbiased opinion from Darkness Within. The worst exit there due to the blue flag, but it should be no problem for Webb. Is Webb going to come into the pit lane and attempt to create undercuts? Looks like they're going to be staying out for this lap, so they have to pit next lap. Basically everyone who is out on track currently will have to pit next lap, as a 65-minute stint timer does run out with 10 minutes and 10 hours and 55 minutes remaining. Got some more support for Webby in chat. It's going to be a very interesting lot of pits here, because everyone is going to be coming into the pit lane. Number 847 is the second driver to take that risk, currently in P7, so they're risking it all with the pit lane early. I don't think it's that big of a risk. It's probably quite safe actually, but they are taking the first or second stance to go into the pit lane. Just behind them we have Liebert, who has also taken that gamble. 918, the McLaren, has also taken that gamble, going into the pit lane, potentially trying to get what they can. Whether these drivers change out for another teammate, we will see. But of course that is available, and there will be 65 minutes more of racing to come. So Webby currently 0.7 seconds back from Stanovic. You can see that Stanovic has learned that they have to pull away from Zach Webb. So Zach Webb potentially not able to take a position back. A gap has extended to 1 second now, so as they come into the pit lane, it's going to be spicing up. Car number 91, car number 84 in the pit lane, car number 91 in the pit lane, car number 279 will be sticking to the right hand side of the pit lane, coming into the track now as well. Hopefully no one speeds into the pit lane. Obviously quite a harsh game given penalty. Is a stop go 30 for speeding in the pit lane, or a drive through if it's only small. but of course that is going to affect your position quite a bit. Stanovic is heading into the pit lane now. Zach Webb also heading into the pit lane. Carter Vic going to be heading into the pit lane now. They're looking like, yep, they'll be taking the inside line for the entrance. Look at that track map on the right hand side of your screen. Everyone is in the pit lane unless they have already pitted, so it'll be interesting to see what this does to the positions. What does it shake it up? Does it change them about? Does it bring people closer? Does it separate people more? We'll see. Number 84 is the first car out of the pit lane, of course. That's the Rosario Piazza that was originally driven by Joe McLaren, but they have swapped over to Rosario. So Rosario is going to be following up that excellent round one stint from Joe McLaren with a P1 start. We're going to be seeing what they can do. Usby is back out again in the number 91 Ferrari. They're about 12 seconds back from Joe McLaren now, so it seems like Joe McLaren, Rosario Piazza had a better pit lane entry exit scenario than Usby did. Potentially Usby had damage as well. That does affect, of course, your pit lane time. All these taps on the exit of the last corner will be affecting everyone, so we will be seeing what happens to this. Zach Webb leaving the pit lane, currently 7 seconds back from Stanovic, so that gap has massively opened now. We've lost that battle between these two, so Zach Webb currently now 6.7 seconds back from Stanovic. Stanovic currently in P4 now, 23 seconds back from P3. P3 10 seconds back from Kelly, who is in, I got that wrong earlier, it is Kelly who has switched into the number 91 Ferrari, who is now 20 seconds back from Rosario. So Rosario has potentially one of the most comfortable gaps to lead the race with, 20 seconds on everyone else on the grid. So they're going to be trying to maximize that as much as they can. Kelly going to be trying to keep it clean and consistent for this one. Kelly is one of the drivers who has done one of the most laps in ACM. There's been 13,658 laps here at ACM. They got 56.42 pace rating. Pace rating is of course a scale between 0 and 100 of how fast you are, with 100 being the fastest and 0 being the slowest. It is quite difficult to get anywhere above 96, 97. But we have had people reach that high before. But it just gives you a pace rating, just gives you a reference of how fast you are in ACM based on all of your laps. So quite useful, and I will reference it quite a bit. So Michael Maleda in the Baller Squad Racing Porsche, 7.2 seconds back from Kelly now, obviously gaining quite a bit on the pit stops. As a Turker, currently in P4. I think Zaturka has been swapped out from Stanovic, so Stanovic did actually make that swap. It was just a little bit late to update. One thing I missed earlier was that there was a new fastest lap of the race, which has been done by Stanislav Kartovic, which was a 144.745 compared to the fastest lap previously from Joe McLaren, which was 144.785. So literally 4 hundredths exact between those two cars. Wonderful livery on that Porsche. I assume you mean the Baller Squad Racing Porsche. It is quite nice with that baby blue on that car. Immaculate vibes. Plenty of decals on the car. It's also got quite a bit of dirt on the car already, which is interesting to see. Hello, Dark Pengu. Zach Webb now 2.2 seconds back from Zaturka, so there is a bit of catching that is going on between these two cars. You can see Zaturka right in front. Obviously, this was originally the battle between Stanovic and Webb. It is now Webb versus Zaturka. Hammer time, yep, Webb's going to be doing what he can to gain back that 4th place position. It's going to be a battle for the majority of the 12 hours, I think. once again, this race is fundraising for Mencap. It is a charity supporting people with a learning disability in the UK. It goes towards a great cause, so please, if you have anything that you would like to donate, please do donate. And of course, you can apply ballast or you can apply time penalties as a result of those donations to charity. So not only do you donate to charity, but you also give there's good racing by making the racing closer. So once again, ballast can be added or removed. It is 5 kilos for £4, 10 kilos for £7.50, 20 kilos for £15, 40 kilos for £30, and this is stackable. So the more that you do at once, obviously the money changes a little bit, and yeah, you can stack it. So you can give someone 40 kilos, or you can give someone 40 less kilos to make them faster. It's all up to you, and there is a good cause that it goes towards. You can also donate time penalties, so you can give someone 5 seconds for £3, and of course that is stackable. So if you donate £15, you can give someone 25 seconds. Drive-through penalty, £15. Again, probably a bit more worth it than 25 seconds. Stop go 10-second penalty is a £23 donation. Stop go 30-second penalty, which of course is quite detrimental to someone's race, that's £38. So again, all good donations, all going to a good cause. So if you do have a spare cash that you'd like to donate to charity and you'd like to make this racing more interesting, then you can see it. And something which just happened there, which you might be able to see in replay, is that Zaturka made a mistake into turn 1 and actually allowed Zach Webb to pass into turn 1. So actually let it through on the straight, it seems like there, which is an interesting move from Zaturka, potentially letting Zach Webb through. I'm not sure why they would do that, but they have done that for sure. Potentially just not wanting the pressure from behind. I'm not sure. Stanovic should be happy with that after all his efforts to get past in the previous stint, but we'll see what happens with the dynamic there. You can see Zaturka is about 2 seconds back now. It's quite a big distance between these guys. Tyre saving, that's a good point. Could be tyre saving, but it also could be various other reasons. Not wanting pressure, wanting to save until further in the race. For all good reasons. Obviously there's 10 hours 48 minutes left of the race. You don't need to gain positions now. It doesn't guarantee your spot in the end, so if you want to save your tyres, if you want to save your damage, etc., may as well do it. The closest battle on track, not really battle, but the closest pair of cars on track is now Kartovic and Zaturka. Kartovic obviously had a time penalty at the start of this race, or a stop go 10-second penalty at the start of this race, so was slightly set back, but has made their way back up into P6 and is now only 1.2 seconds back from Zaturka. So if Zaturka wanted to save tyres by not battling Zach Webb, they now have a battle on their hands with Kartovic. 0.8 seconds from Kartovic. We'll go on board and see what that gap does. And that was it, that was the position. So once again, Zaturka just allowing those positions to go. Must be saving tyres, must be saving damage, whatever it might be. But of course, Stanovic can't be happy with that. He's put in so much effort with that first stint just for that position to be let go. Obviously these two are in communication as their teammates, but you know, in my personal opinion, I think those battles should have been taken. It's a 12-hour race, there's plenty of time to come back up, and of course we get more fun on the commentary, but it's up to the individual drivers. We can't change anything. Just check Kelly, he's going to be eaten in 2 laps. Moleda is quite close to Kelly. You can see Kelly up there, 1.2 seconds up front. Gap is coming down now, 1.1 seconds. A better exit for this Porsche, using the most of the track that they can. 1 seconds now, it's going to be into sort of the slipstream time. Tighter apex for Maleda is Porsche versus Ferrari. .8 seconds now, so Maleda is going to be chasing up the rear of Kelly, a little bit wide on the exit there, and of course there are track limits in play today, all controlled by the game. If you run wide 4 times and you gain time by doing so, it is a drive-through penalty, and we will not be removing that because it is, as I say, given by the game. But drivers are going to be watching those track limits. Watkins Glen isn't too bad on track limits, but if you do run wide on the first corner too much, you are likely to get a time penalty. And of course the drive-through penalty is quite restrictive and it will affect your race quite a lot. So Maleda has now dropped down to 1.7 seconds, 1.8 seconds, so that'll be interesting to see. Tkachenko is now 0.7 back from Adamczyk. Adamczyk in that Lexus, the number 41 Lexus, and Tkachenko in the 847 Aston Martin. I know that the commentator last week was having a few difficulties pronouncing Tkachenko, so hopefully I'm getting it right, but we'll see. Keep watching Kelly. We just tell him to put his hand out the window and say hello to the camera. I'm not seeing Kelly's hand at the moment, but it looks like he's waving in the cab there. It's a very nice livery, that Rocket Stallion Racing. Oh, we've missed the overtake from Tkachenko, so Adamczyk has allowed that position to be gained. We'll go back and see if we can see where that was. So Tkachenko getting a better exit on this corner. It seems like it was a drag race up the hill and it was just easily allowed through. So I think on the outside of that hill there, you have to slightly lift. I think the Lexus probably lifted a bit too much to let that Aston Martin through, but the Aston Martin actually did say thank you, so maybe there was a bit of team communication there. I'm not sure if they're in the same team or if they're friends, but that position was allowed by Adamczyk, which was interesting. 1.3 seconds on Maleda now. You can see Kelly waving up front to Maleda. It's going to be a bit of taunting to that Motorsport Racing Porsche. They both come round sector 2 now. Looks like the Maleda Porsche is gaining quite significantly on Kelly through that corner. Kelly's keeping it comfortably at P2 at the moment, but Rosario Piazza up front has now got a 30-second gap to P3 behind, or P2 behind, sorry. So crazy gap. Spectator number 777, that is Hayden Lawn in the CRD Group Motorsport Mercedes. They've had a fairly up and down race so far. They did have a few battles earlier on in the race, if I remember correctly, but it seems like there's a bit of damage on that Mercedes now, and they are a few laps behind the others, so potentially a few mistakes that have happened in there, but they are keeping it going. And of course this is a 12 hours race, so there is plenty that can happen, and you can also donate to other people to get them time penalties, etc. So there is plenty more happen in this race for them to gain those positions. Fastest lap is actually now currently held by Kirill Skatov, who has got a 144.545 in the Team ADR Moser Performance Mustang. Number 887 Mustang doing incredibly well there, getting a 144.5, being very fast. They're currently 12 seconds back from tie in front, but we'll see how that develops. Back on board with Maleda, now 0.5 seconds back from Kelly. So we'll potentially see a battle between these two for P2. Some liveries not showing up because 777 usually has a whale shark livery. Yeah, we did sync the liveries just before qualifying, literally just before qualifying. So if anyone didn't upload the liveries, then I won't have it, and unfortunately it won't be on the broadcast for that reason. So please make sure that your team that you're supporting does have the livery uploaded and that is synced correctly, so that I can then sync and we can view it on the broadcast. But a bit of close racing between Kelly and Maleda now. There's a bit of bumping on the rear there between these two drivers. Maleda running wide, potentially getting a better exit out of this corner. Porsche is quite rear end happy with the Ferrari a lot more stable, but it's going to be a drag race down into this corner. The right hander, it's going to be a move made by Maleda up the inside. It's side by side into the next corner at the moment. I'll go into helicam for these two drivers. The Porsche around the outside is an interesting overtake, but it is possible. We have seen it done before. As we've just seen done now, Maleda is now successfully in P2 with Kelly chasing behind. Kelly dropping back a little bit, 0.7 seconds between these two cars. Maleda for Baller Squad Racing is now in P2, so these two are going to be chasing up the podium for the rest of the race. And of course, Rosario Piazza is 31 seconds ahead. Rosario is now in a different sector compared to the P2 and P3. So these guys, Tempo Esports, are incredibly fast. Stanislav Kartovic is now the one that's chasing behind Webby. Poor Webby can't get a break this race, but I am sure that he is loving that. 0.6 seconds between these two. Hopefully within the next few laps it will be 0.3, 0.2, maybe 0.1. And we'll see a good battle between these two drivers. Once again, Webb running slightly wide of the apex. Kartovic being a bit closer, but neither of them getting potentially the perfect line. Watkins is quite a variable track with the racing line. You can race on quite a few lines and it will do you well. Kartovic seems to have the speed actually against the Mustang here and doing quite well against the Mustang compared to the Ferrari previously, where the Mustang was able to pull away. This Aston Martin is just able to close that gap. Obviously you do have the slipstream, but it seems like that Aston Martin is powerful. Aston strong in straight line. I do race with the Aston Martin normally. I don't pass it personally as the fastest in the straight line, but clearly I've been proven wrong by Kartovic here. Essentially a difference in setup, and he does have the slipstream as well. Yeah, not the fastest, but really solid. Yeah, still solid, don't get me wrong, but it's just surprising to see the difference between the Ferrari and the Aston Martin. Kartovic now 0.5 seconds back from Zach Webb. Tkachenko is now 0.3 seconds back from Bagari in the 95 Mercedes up front. Ah, Zenith 343. You're right in Cheshire, right? Yeah, I recognise that 343 number. It was a shame that you weren't in this race because it could have been a good one for you. You wouldn't have to have someone qualify for you to escape the ACM bot. Although he would have donated ballast to you anyways. But Bagari did make a mistake there, and Tkachenko therefore took that position, is now in P7 in the 847 Aston Martin. Obviously we saw them having a little bit of a battle earlier on. Kartovic has also taken the position from Webb. It was a lot faster than previously possible to do. That Mustang is going to be quite fast in the straight line. It seems like they're indicating though, so not sure whether that position was given away for free, not sure what's going on there, but a little bit of indicating there, so I'm not sure entirely what the reasoning is, but we'll see how this develops. Zach Webb is dropping back from Kartovic. Now they're 0.8 seconds back from these two. Kartovic is still indicating, so not sure what the reason is. 343 number by itself already makes you lose 0.5 seconds on track lap time. Yeah, Ryan, you would have had a good battle with Rosario and Joe McLaren up front. They're currently 31 seconds ahead of the rest of the grid in the Ferrari. Next endurance race for me will be Bathurst 12 hours solo attempt time. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one, that Bathurst race. We've got 45 or so cars on grid for that, so it should be definitely an interesting one. And if you're doing it solo, I wish you the best. Bathurst is, of course, a difficult track. For 12 hours, there is plenty of time to make a mistake, but we know you, Ryan. We know how well you race, and we know how consistent you are as well. So it'll be interesting to see. Zach Webb is back past Kartovic, so we'll see what happened there. Kartovic coming around the corner normally, no issues on exit. And then runs into the back of car number 63, so that was a blue flag that had that incident and just allowed Webb to just soar through there. That is really unfortunate to see from Kartovic, but they were able to pass quite well through past Zach Webb last time, so we'll see potentially more of a battle this time. Ironically, there was the opportunity for me to drive with tempo for this race, but he has a dissertation to do. Yeah, that's more important than racing, but it would have been interesting to see you racing with tempo for this one. You guys would have been absolutely dominant in this race. I would prefer to see you guys racing against each other, but nonetheless, racing is racing, and we'll see how it goes. Usually asks if you know whether there's sunlight outside of your walls. As a league owner, I personally don't know that fact. And I'm sure that Ryan, as fast as he is, also doesn't know that fact. He says he'll be driving with Tempo Esports for the LFM 24 hours. Very nice. Hope that goes well for you guys. Kelly reporting some raining. We told him it was just a sweat. Yep, it seems like it will be rain for the next half an hour. I've been keeping my eye on the radar, and it seems like it'll be light rain for the next half an hour, so potentially enough for wet tyres, potentially not enough for wet tyres. We'll be seeing if anyone goes and takes that risk. Car 777 currently a yellow flag. I'm not sure whether they had a spin on the chicane. Obviously we saw earlier plenty of spins happened there. Kelly is now actually fighting back against Maleda. Obviously we saw the battle between these two earlier on. Maleda passed fairly easily against Kelly, but Kelly is now striking back against Maleda and potentially looking to take that P2 back off of his hands. I don't know how Hatsune Miku raced GT3. We've had it quite a few times in ACM. There's been Hatsune Miku racing a GT3. This time it's for Good Smile Racing in the Mercedes. They're currently down at the back, keeping it going strong. They've got 39 seconds to Smooney in front. Smooney racing Sim Racing Morocco in the junior team. Kartovic now back 0.7 seconds back from Webb. It's going to be an interesting battle, hopefully, between these guys. Hopefully get something more like the first stint. Bit of contact on the wall on the exit there, but quite a few battles up front here. Kelly's actually striking back at Boulder Squad Racing Porsche up front. 0.3 seconds between these guys. And in less than 10 minutes it will start raining, so we'll see a lot more spins, we'll see a lot more action. It'll be interesting to see for sure. Kartovic 0.7 seconds back from Webb. Tkachenko 0.3 seconds back from Zaturka. Zaturka definitely giving up this position, and the rain is hitting. You can see a few drops on the windscreen. It is only light rain, so it hopefully won't have that much of an impact, but it will change how the drivers race, and it will change how the tyres react to the rain, so we'll we'll jump on board with Kelly and see whether he's having any effect from this rain. It will make the curb slippier, it will make the grass more dangerous, and the acceleration out the corners more tantalizing. It'll be interesting to see what the impact of this is. Obviously, it is raining for the next sort of hour or so. Obviously, if you pit for wet tyres, you need to make sure that the wet tyres will actually give you an advantage. It is going to be raining for half an hour, but it is only this sort of level of rain, so not that much. The dry tyres can handle it, but if you do want to pit, you can pit, and of course that will offset your stint timer. As mentioned previously, there is a 65 minutes timer on this race. Katov is currently 0.2 seconds back from Ty in front in the 37 Porsche, this Team ADR Mustang, the Muzz Racing Mustang. Is looking to do what they can up the hill. Rain is interesting, you can see the spots on the windscreen, not enough windscreen wipers apparently yet, but it's going to be interesting. Seems like they're battling. Gasol doesn't want to take that side-by-side action through the chicane, which is a very smart idea. Obviously, we saw earlier plenty of mistakes happening as a result of that, and now that it's raining, it becomes a lot more interesting. The Mustang has plenty of speed to go for that Porsche. Set a very late lunge down the inside and ends up spinning themselves around as a result. That was a very late lunge. They didn't have space entitlement on that corner, so it'd be interesting to see what the stewards believe of that. Jumping back up to the front, Kartovic running 0.8 seconds back from Zach Webb. Obviously, we saw these guys overtake earlier, but then an issue with the blue flag caused Kartovic to go back behind Zach Webb, and has now been just sort of drifting behind Zach Webb for a while. Kartovic does have a 10-second penalty awarded to him. I don't know what that is for, but it is available to view on the ACM website. 399 has just been given a 10-second penalty as well. Kelly, 0.2 back from Maleda at the moment. Still a good battle between these guys, and of course is still raining. Oh, 0.1 seconds from Kartovic now to Zach Webb. As I say, it is greasy now, the track conditions, so the cars are going to be a little bit more slippery, a little bit more unsteady. Down into turn one now, that Mustang potentially running wide on that corner. Kartovic taking a safer line through there, still no position gain at the moment. The windscreen wipers have now officially come on, and the rain is getting heavier over the next sort of 10 to 30 minutes. So potentially some pit stops for wet tyres. We'll see how the rain develops. It's still not enough for wet tyres at the moment, but obviously things can change. Kelly still 0.3 seconds back from the leader. Kelly has dropped back a bit this lap, 0.7 seconds back now, 0.2 seconds for Carter-Vick. It's still very close between these two. Taking it very gingerly through that corner now, and Zach Webb getting a little bit unsteady on exit there. This rain is certainly having an impact on these dry tyres. They are no longer able to push as hard as they were before. Still planned to be rain for the next half an hour. It's supposed to get heavier over the next half an hour as well. Track is currently greasy. That Mustang running again slightly wide of the apex. Could be a position gain here from Carter-Vick. Carter-Vick is side by side up the hill. Position has been gained as it is. Mustang is going to have the slipstream. It's going to have the acceleration. Is it going to be a position? I don't think so, because I don't think they'll want to go into the chicane side by side. A little bit of a flash there from Zach Webb. Gaps have definitely started to spread out now. The fastest lap is still held by Team ADR, number 887, currently driven by Garrett Levonian. They have a 144.472. I don't think that'll be beaten for a while, as the current laps that are being set in the rain are about 150. There's now a 46-second gap to P1. Piazza is currently 46 seconds ahead of P2 in the Tempo Esports Ferrari. Zach Webb, 1 second back from Carter-Vick now. I think Carter-Vick is fairly secure in that P4 position. Nikachenko behind is 20 seconds back from Zach Webb, so I don't think there'll be any action there soon. There's Turka, who was the car that had a fair bit of the limelight the first hour, which was driven by Stanovic, is now down in P14, so they're having a few difficulties with their car. Of course, we saw them giving away a lot of free positions at the start of this stint, so potentially a few issues with their car, potentially a few issues with the pace. That's what it is, but they're now down in P14, which is good to see. But once
Stanovich gets back in the car, should be plenty of positions gained, and they're only 5 seconds currently back from Ty, who is in the Room Racing 37 at Porsche. Kelly 1.5 seconds back from Maleda. The Mustang in front is a blue flag. But you can see the Porsche just in front of the Mustang. Had plenty of action in the first hour. Liebert is going to pass Adamczyk now, who is going into the pit lane, potentially to swap to wets. It'd be interesting to see if they do swap to wets, because the track is greasy and the rain is only getting heavier. Obviously, if they're the first on the wets, they will be taking the risk, whether it is worth it. But at this rate, with the rain so heavy, it could be, it may not be, we'll see. But that is interesting that they are going into the pit lane. Obviously, that'll drop them quite a few positions, but if it is beneficial for them, they can gain those positions back just through pace alone. That will also obviously reset their stint timer back to 65 minutes. Everyone at the moment currently has about half an hour left of their stint timer. $29 people watching. If you want to show your support for one car, you can flick the camera to their card, put their name in chat, say hello, have a conversation, give us something to talk about. Grid has started to spread out now. Closest gap is still Kelly, with this 1 second gap to Maleda in front. Car's definitely taking it more gingerly now. You can see the Porsche having a little bit of unstable driving up front due to this rain. That's given Kelly a 5/10 benefit through the chicane there. Now 4/10 between these two. Kelly's going to be braking late into the corner. That Porsche is going to be very ginger. Obviously, as I said earlier, it's a car that likes the rear. It's a rear engine, rear wheel drive car, so got a lot of weight there. If you do it wrong, the car's very slippery there. The front end likes to go whichever way you point it. Kelly's just staying back by 0.5 seconds for now. It's probably the smart thing to do in this weather. It's not the best to be battling side by side. It is dangerous, it is slippery, it's less advantageous than usual, so just staying within half a tenth will probably be beneficial for now. It means that they can stay into the pit lane, and then obviously in the pits they can gain that position should they have better pit entry. At this stage with the rain, the curbs become very slippery, so taking the apexes with them probably not beneficial, but a few cars will probably might be taking them. The cars that handle the rain quite well. The Aston Martin is one of those. You can see the Ferrari in front getting very unsteady over the curbs. As I was saying, it is very difficult out there. That was the number 60 Ferrari, who is currently down in the 18. That they've rejoined safely, and Kelly is now 0.5 seconds back still, so there, as I said, just keeping it consistent and steady for now. There's no need to make a position gain in this weather. It's just not beneficial for you. Not smart, it's just a skill issue at this moment. Yeah, well, we'll see how Kelly does. He's 0.3 seconds back, and he is gaining ever so slightly. He might go for a move. I believe Kelly will. He has quite a few laps with ACM. He's very used to this weather, as we've done plenty of races in it. Further back, Cataldo is currently 0.8 seconds back from Liebert. That's a battle of the Mustangs. Daniel Cataldo in the 155, that is an ISS Mustang. racingmania.it. Very nice livery on that car. Back on board with Kelly, 0.4 seconds between these two. I'll keep my eye on the gap between Cataldo and Lieber though. Make sure we don't miss it. But 0.5 seconds, greasy conditions. It's going to be getting very interesting soon if the position is attempted to be made. Ferrari definitely handles these conditions better than the Porsche. As I said, Porsche was quite unsteady in weather like this. It's very rear end happy, so you have to be very careful on your corner exits. But it's been an excellent slipstream for Kelly down this one. I don't think he'll go side by side through the chicane, but we'll see if he does now. He brakes a lot earlier than the Porsche, just taking it steady through there, the smart and sensible option, but he might potentially get a better exit than the Porsche here. He's gone for a tighter apex, he's caught up a lot, but the Porsche may get a better exit here, as the Porsche is, yes, pulling away from Kelly now, but Kelly's going to try and send a later break into this corner now. Once again, gains a little bit. Who gets the better exit? It's going to be the Porsche, making the most of that outside curb as well. Braking and turning up the hill. This is a harder corner of the circuit, but a good exit from the both of them there. It's about equal. It's going to be the slipstream for Kelly down into the final sector's first corner. Porsche has run wide from the apex there. It's going to give Kelly the advantage around the corner. Who gets the better exit? It seems like they're both equal though, but it's 0.2 seconds between these two. It's going to be a tighter apex earlier on from Kelly. Good late apex from the Porsche, so they're going to get a better exit, but it is very, very close between these two, and the littlest mistakes that you make will have a big impact. So both cars having a good exit there, both making use of the exit curb. This inside curb will be slippery, but Kelly takes it tighter. That rain is definitely increasing now. It's becoming almost impossible for us to see. You can see that Porsche in front. Running slightly wide there, having to correct a bit of oversteer on the exit as well. Hopefully they didn't get a track warning for that. Kelly taking the tighter line up the hill. The Porsche is going to be trying to defend along this straight. Kelly will once again have the slipstream. Whether he makes a move though or not will be another question, because it's not sensible to go side by side through here in the rain. Porsche takes a more aggressive line but seems to handle the curbs well, so does the Ferrari. Again, going to be a difference of line through this corner. Kelly takes a tighter line, but the Porsche takes a wide line. Through about a balanced exit there, the Porsche making more use of the exit. Whoever battles latest on the brakes in this one, it was the Porsche who takes the inside line. Kelly looks to go for the outside, but no move made there. And so the next one, again, it's the up right-hander. It's quite difficult in the rain, this one is, so the Porsche will be very ginger on the throttle. Seems no issues there, accelerating in a straight line. Slight touch of the grass on exit, but the Porsche is able to maintain that distance. 0.3 seconds still. Kelly is braking late into this corner. Still 0.3 seconds back, very close again on the braking to this corner. It's going to be a tight apex for both of them. Porsche using a little bit of the inside curb. Kelly having a worse exit. Both cars making use of the entry to that corner. Both cars making use of the curve on the exit. Kelly a bit more aggressive. We'll see what happens on this one. A little bit wider on apex from Kelly. Porsche gets a better exit as a result. So again, 0.3 seconds after that lap. It's yeah, it's going to be a certainly interesting battle between these two. Pumped Mantis has asked, how do you join these races? So this is a race with ACM Racing. They are a racing league mainly based in Europe. We do races at all times. We do endurance races almost every single Saturday. We do 5 sprint races every week. So that is on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays and Sundays. You can view all of our events and all of our information at acm-racing.com. The link to that is it's going to be in the chat. acm-racing.com. You can sign up to races there. You can view all the information and join us for a few events. The link to the Discord as well, I'll post that in the chat. Come and join us. We've got plenty of action on. On Monday we've got 60 minutes of Imola. Nice and simple format with plenty of drivers on grid. Wednesdays we've got GT4 mini series with about 10 to 20 or so GT4s, which is pretty good. On Thursdays we've got mini endurance, which has up to 70 drivers signed up, so there's quite a few people attending that as well. That's up to 3-hour races. I think on Thursday it is a 144-minute race. I might be wrong though. And then on Friday we have a Jaguary, which is Jaguars only championship for 6 rounds. And then on Sundays we have Ferrari Fundays, which is Ferrari Sundays, so Ferrari only. A lot of people go with the 296. We do have a couple of people in the 458 though, which is interesting. But like I said, we have plenty on. It's different each week, so have a check of the website, and you will be able to join us there. I make content on livestream ACC, but I can never get these big long races with a full grid. Yeah, it's difficult. We've been running for the best part of 3 years now. It's about 2.5 years of ACM. We've grown quite significantly. We've done quite a lot of races. I think in total we've done about 500,000 laps, excluding qualifying. So yeah, we've done plenty of races. We've got quite a lot of people racing with us, and we were able to get these good grids for these races. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you on grid soon. But Kelly is now got in the slipstream up on the rear. He's going to go for side-by-side into the chicane. He backs out of it, but it makes the Porsche take a more aggressive line into the chicane. It's going to be a battle between these two, and the Porsche maintains that position. But Kelly takes a tighter line, touching that apex there. The Porsche gets a better exit using the outside curb. Touching a bit of good grass there as well. Both brake at the same point. Kelly gaining a bit on apex, but I think the Porsche might get a better exit again. Yep, making most of that outside curb. The upper right hand corner, it's a difficult corner this is, especially in this greasy track conditions, but that Porsche has once again got an excellent exit. Kelly needs to make note of this and try to improve his exit on this corner, because it means that he will be able to compete with the Porsche into this corner. You can see that the Porsche is so far ahead in this one. Kelly does catch on apex, but he does run slightly wide, so I think that Porsche might have a better exit of this race. Trying to build myself up and stream to do a 24-hour race at some point this year. Yep, we're running 5 24-hour races this year, one of which will be announced this evening, so stick around, we've got plenty on. We ran a 24-hour race in November, which had, I think, 220 or so people across 71 teams. We raised £4,000 for charity, which was a very good event. Speaking of charity, this race is raising money for Mencap, which is a charity supporting people with a learning disability. You can pay for time penalties, you can pay for ballast for yourself to be removed, or you can pay for other people to have it added on. All of the information on is on the SimGrid sign up rules page. You can have ballast added or removed 5 kilos for £4, which is stackable. 5 seconds time penalty for £3, which again is stackable. Drive-through penalty £15, stop go 10-second penalty is at £23, and stop go 30 seconds is £38. Once again, this all goes to charity, all goes to a great cause, so if you have some spare money, if you want to see some more action, then have a consider donating. I'll post a link to where you can donate in the chat. That's acm-racing.com/mencap. I'll pin that to the stream as well. Again, this lap we saw Kelly making gains on the straight, but wasn't able to make most of it into the chicane. The strong points from Kelly are being noted as a straight here, so he needs to try and make the most of that exit out of turn 1. Again, he got a better exit of that corner, but he still needs to make some adjustments to get a better exit versus the Porsche. "16 minutes or so until the next lot of pit stops will come through. Link to our Discord is in the chat for you there. I'll join so I can get in some of these races. Yeah, it'd be good to have you here. We have plenty of races going on, plenty of decent grids as well, so you should have hopefully a good battle for your stream. Kelly's making a move on the straight here. He's side by side. They're very close into this corner, and Kelly is actually going for the side by side here. I'll switch to the helicam, but he's not going to be able to go for a move there. He's looking up the inside from Kartovic. Kartovic has been slowly approaching from the rear this entire time, and it's now a three-way battle for P2 on just the second hour of this race. While it's greasy, while it's wet, while it's raining, it's going to be a very interesting battle. This will switch to the onboard of Kartovic to see if we can see anything from these guys. Streaming is fun and I enjoy it, but it's the thought of doing these races for charity as well as world class. Exactly that. We have a quite large platform. We need to make the most of it and raise money for charity for those causes that do great work. So that's why ACM does quite a bit of it. The year before last, so 2024, we raised $5,000 for a charity supporting veterans in the United States. Last year we raised £4,000 for Mind Mental Health UK, and today we are trying to raise money for Mencap, which is a charity supporting people with a learning disability. So please, once again, you can donate for penalties, you can donate for ballast. Please do consider checking it out. If you have a spare couple of pounds, you can spice up the racing, donate to charity, and it will go to a good cause, so please consider doing it. Kartovic on the rear of Kelly at the moment. Kelly on the rear of Maleda. Is a very interesting battle here. Maleda taking that apex nicely. Kelly also taking it tighter. Maleda running slightly wide again, blocking off Kelly on the inside there, so the inside line for the first bit of the hill, but he's going to have to run wide and maybe lift a bit there. Kelly's going to have a little bit of a problem there as Kartovic takes the inside line, takes the advantage of these two battling and passes two cars in one straight, which is insane. It looks like that Porsche there, but potentially a blue flag. Looking for a move there. Kelly goes up the inside of the chicane. The Maleda in the Bottle Squad Racing Porsche had to give that position up there. That was a very brave move from Kelly. We'll see if we can see that in a second. You can see there, Kartovic going through, pushing his way through two cars in one corner. And then Kelly approaching on the Porsche, going up the inside this time, braking much later, making slight contact, but not really causing anything significant, and gaining that position very well on Maleda in that 279 Porsche. So in the space of one lap, Maleda has gone from P2 to now P4 as a result of Kartovic and Kelly together. So Kelly, excellent job there in the Ferrari. He's now 0.8 seconds back from Kartovic. Unsure whether there's going to be a battle between these two, but that is the gap that you can see there. That was an excellent battle between these two drivers. It was brewing for a while between Maleda and Kelly, but Kelly made the most of it in that opportunity with Kartovic pushing his way past. In about 12 minutes or so, the stint timer will be ended for most drivers, so they will have to come into the pit lane and do another stop. Maleda's feeling quite unsettled with this rain in that Porsche. He got quite a bit of damage on the Porsche, and they're also in the wet on dry tyres, so they're probably just taking it gingerly, taking it steady. It's better to maintain the position and not get damaged than it is to race and then get damaged. So smart choice from Maleda. It's unfortunate he's having a bit of battles with the blue flag at the moment, though, but hopefully that should subside soon. There are some solo drivers today. There are some teams as well. There is teams of up to 6 allowed. P1, who is currently also seconds ahead, is currently a team of 4. That's Joe McLaren, Mattia Calandini, Andrea Mattia, Rosario Gaza, they are all racing in P1. But then we do have a few solo drivers as well. Mislav Vukusic, who is doing their pit stop at the moment, is a solo driver currently in P16, doing very well. I'll see if I can see the other drivers. I don't believe I can. Smooney is doing this one solo as well. Has just done their pit stop, currently in P21 in the Ferrari, number 63. And that is it. We have 2 solo drivers today, but majority of the guys are in teams of up to 4 or 5 drivers. As I say, pit stops will be coming soon, so we'll be seeing who comes into the pit lane first, whether Rosario takes that gamble and does it first, or whether someone else decides to try and get an undercut. Obviously, with a 65-second gap, there are quite a few opportunity, or not much opportunity for an undercut to happen on Rosario, but throughout the grid, with 2-second, 4-second gaps, there's opportunity there for people to get an undercut. Didn't realise you could do driver swaps in a set of course. So yeah, this is a set of course competizione. It's got plenty of features with driver swaps. We do 24-hour races with people of up to 6 drivers in a team, which, like I say, equals about 200 or so drivers in about 60 or so cars, like we did last year in November when we raised £4,000 for Mind. We had 66 teams, I believe, across 220 drivers. And of course that happened throughout the full 24 hours. We finished the race, and like I said, we raised £4,000. So yeah, set of course competizione, plenty available for it, particularly with endurance and driver swaps. As I say, we do weekly endurance races. So every Saturday we do an endurance race. That Ferrari getting a little bit unsteady with the rain there. Next weekend we have the calendar up. 8 hours of Suzuka next weekend. Weekend after we have 6 hours of Nordschleife. Then we have a break week every 6 weeks. So on the 14th there is a break from endurance racing. 21st of February we have 12 hours of Bathurst, which I believe has about 48 or so teams in it signed up so far. 28th of February has 4 hours of GT4, a very fun race. On the 7th of March, one that is being announced tonight, is 24 hours of Spa for Breast Cancer Now, which is a breast cancer charity, which has obviously a lot of impact on a lot of people, so hopefully that one should be good. And it is a 24-hour race with Spa, so that should be a good bit of action as well. So back to the action here. Seems like no one has taken that pit stop yet. There is still 8 minutes or so for a majority of the drivers at the top. Piazza currently 57 minutes 37 seconds into his stint timer. 65 minutes stint timer maximum. You drive for 65 minutes before entering the pit lane again. Position gain and position lost. Tkachenko currently at the top of the position gain leaderboard. He has gained 13 positions since the start of this race, starting in 18th place and currently is sat in P5, so a very good job from Tkachenko there. Liebert also making good improvements, 8 positions from their starting place in P14. They're currently in P6. Bagari currently in P8, has started in P13, so they've made their way up 5 places. Julian Tai in car number 37, started in P21 and is currently in P12, so they made their way up 9 places. Speaking of the opposite though, Hatsune Miku in the Good Smile Racing number 444, started in P11, is currently running in P22, so they've unfortunately lost 11 positions, but they are still going strong. There's plenty of time left in this race. Kelly now 5 seconds back from Kartovic. Zach Webb 6 seconds back. The Ball Squad Racing Porsche, which we were on with earlier, is now in P8. Seems like they've done their pit stop. So they are, yep, they pitted 3 minutes ago. Am I right? Yeah, 3 minutes ago. So they are now got a fresh clean car. Not sure what tyre set they're on, but it looks like they're on dry tyres. And they are going to be trying to undercut majority of the people who are going into pit lane now. Obviously, we saw the Ball Squad Racing Porsche having quite a bit of a battle with Kelly earlier. Kelly still yet to pit, and currently about a minute in front of this car, so that should become very close afterwards. And of course, the Ball Squad Racing Porsche now has a full tank, a full fixed car, and a new driver, Nathan Smith Adams, in the car. I'm a little bit unsteady on the exit of that corner there. But we'll see what these fresh boots in the car can do. So who's going to be next in the pit lane then? Let's take our bets. Currently on the stint timer, Killian Teal has got 1 hour, 1 minute and 20 seconds. They will have to be coming into the pit lane soon, potentially this lap. I think it might be next lap, but we'll see. Piazza, currently 1 hour, 1 minute and 30 seconds as well, so they'll have to come in this lap or next lap. Seems like car 124. That's Liebert coming into the pit lane. The very damaged 60, number 60 Ferrari there as well. Number 37 potentially coming into the pit lane. Yep, number 37 is in. Will number 279 into the pit lane? It seems like that's the Ball Squad Racing Porsche who has just pitted. Number 7 is the next one to come round. They won't be pitting, they'll be going around another lap. They have 1 hour, 1 minute on the sit time, so that's perfectly fine. 965 is next to come round. That's Zach Webb, who will be not going into the pit lane this lap, which is fine. Again, 1 hour, 1 minute and 30 seconds, so has more than enough time for another lap. Aldo not going in either. Nibte has pitted recently, so they won't be going into the pit lane. Piazza is coming round the final few corners now. Will they be going into the pit lane? I think they probably will be. It looks like they are. Yep, they're coming into the pit lane. So they'll be swapping over potentially into a new driver, getting a fresh set of boots. Seems like most people are going into the lane now. Car number 777 going in. Car number 887 past the pit lane. Car number 918, will they be going into the lane? Yep, they will be. Car number 279 will not be going to the pit lane. They've pitted recently. Seems like car number 63 might be going in. Find their car. Yep, Spoony now in the pit lane. Car number 7 is just going to the pit lane as well. That is Carter Vic. Number 91, Kelly, going into the pit lane as well. Car number 965, Webb, coming into the pit lane. Like I said, most people will be coming into the pit lane now. Car number 847, if I can find them, has, I believe, just gone in. Nope, they're coming in now. Car number 6 has just been into the pit lane, so they won't be pitting, but you can see on the track map, majority of the cars are in the pit lane at the moment. Calandini for Tempo Esports is currently in the car, so they did do a driver swap, and they are in the car with now a fresh set of boots for this hour. It's still planned to be raining, it's still greasy on track, they are still on dry tyres, so it will be more tantalising racing. Ninja Chase 109, big front end damage that needed to be repaired, sadly, which dropped us back quite far. Should be able to work back up to P5. Yeah, I believe that is from the Baller Squad racing car. Yeah, you had quite a bit of damage on the front. I think your bonnet was lifting up as well, so it's good to see that the damage is repaired. Now you've got a nice clean car for this hour, and like I said, a fresh set of boots as well, so you should have quite good hopes at this hour. Is it possible to have a red flag? It is possible to have a red flag. We only do it if there is a server crash. Hopefully we don't have one today. The server sponsors are G-Portal, and we've been able to do 24-hour races before with no crashes, so I don't predict there will be a red flag. Ryan says, pulled a blinder with the conditions, quite fun having weird track conditions. Yeah, it's difficult to get ACC weather like this, but after a while you sort of understand how it works. So it's never perfect, it's still random, but you sometimes get conditions like this which have been quite well. First hour dry, second hour into the third hour being greasy. The rain is decreasing in half an hour, so hopefully it should go back to dry, and you have quite a variable race. And it's interesting conditions this as well, because the rain is only set to 0.02, so it is literally the smallest that you can get the rain. And the cloud is only 0.7, so it's very sort of peculiar conditions. You don't find them often, but with the advantage of how we run races, we are able to run races like this. Ninja Chase says, yeah, I'm with Ball Squad Racing, I'm the third driver. Yes, I believe you're Chase, who was just in the car, if I am correct. And Ryan said, I assume they're on dries. Yeah, they're on dries at the moment. You can tell by the tyre wall has the yellow markings on it. Wet tyres don't have that. I don't believe it's wet enough for wet tyres, but it is still quite greasy out there. So it's going to be some interesting racing for most people. Kartovic currently behind Kulikov, 0.4 seconds between these two. See what they can do. Bagari back in the 95 Mercedes, currently behind Cataldo in the 155 Mustang. Need to take my advice of zero traction control in the wet. I personally wouldn't take that advice, but if anyone wants to take Brian Cheshire's advice, there it is. Bagari currently at the inside of Cataldo. It's dangerous in these conditions. Cataldo has run wide on the corner there, you can see on the side. Bagari stuck to the inside of the corner and managed to keep it in. Now slots in back behind Cataldo. We're having another shot of it up the hill this time though. It runs wider than the Mustang, but we'll be able to get back on the apex. So this one has to lift slightly there due to the greasy track conditions. You can see the impact of the rain there. That dropped them back a little bit from Cataldo, but they should still be able to get it. Kartovic 0.2 seconds back from Kulikov at the moment. Seems like Kulikov is pulling over to let Kartovic come through. So no battling between these guys. Bagari 0.5 back from Cataldo. Going to stick on these guys probably for the rest of a while now. There was an attempt at the inside there, but the Mustang dove up the inside again. These guys are having quite a shoulders out battle here, sticking up the inside where there's no space, but they're going for it. And again, they're side by side through this corner. Mustang are going to stay ahead for now. Mercedes is going to tuck back in behind and try and get the slipstream down the straight here. Mustang pulls over to the side to block the slipstream. Mercedes goes for it. Going to have to go back to the outside of the track here for turn 1 though, as they're coming round into the first corner. Mercedes takes it nice and tight, so Mustang runs out slightly wide. Mercedes has made their way through at the moment. And it seems like Mercedes will be through and into P7. So that was the position gain there for Bulgari, and a position drop for Cataldo. One minute and 30 seconds is the gap between P1 and P2 now. It seems like Noah Ackerman has jumped into the number 91 Ferrari. Obviously we saw Usby start and then Kelly follow up, and now we are with Noah Ackerman in the number 91 Rocket Stallion Racing. They are 1 minute and 30 seconds behind Calandini at the moment. Tempo Esports pulling out an amazing pace in this race, nearly a lap ahead of Ackerman, not too far, almost in the same sector. But it should be more than possible for these guys to gain a bit of time. Ackerman is a very fast driver, again, won this race quite a lot in ACM, so we should hopefully see a bit of battle in there. Webb only 2.4 seconds back from Ackerman. You can see just there the Ferrari in front is 3 seconds in front of Webb. Kartovic 1.2 seconds back from Zach Webb. And then Kulikov, who Kartovic just overtook, is 0.9 seconds back. So it's quite close in the top 5, unless you are, of course, number 84 in the Tempo Racing, because they are miles ahead of everyone. But that's a rundown of the top 5, and as the grid has started to spread out a little bit, I am going to close down the end of the stream as I want to grab myself some lunch. I might be back later on in the race, see how the race goes. Once again, this is a fundraiser for charity. We are raising money for Mencap, which is a charity that supports people with a learning disability. Please do consider checking out and donating if you may. It will go towards a good cause, and you can donate penalties and ballast as well. So penalties cost £3 per 5 seconds, or you can buy a drive-through penalty for someone for £15, a stop-go penalty for £23, and a stop-go 30-second penalty for £32. Ballast can be added or removed, so £4 for 5 kilograms, £7.50 for 10, 15 for 20, and £30 for 40. So if you want to donate towards Mencap, then please do it through us, and you can add some ballast, or you can add some penalties to the drivers on the screen. As I said, thank you very much for watching today's race. I am unfortunately going to have to end the stream here, as there is a little bit of scuffle between Kartovic, Webb and a blue flag. There is 10 hours of racing left. Plenty of action today. It's been really good going, but we might be back later, so keep your eyes on ACM Twitch. Once again, acm-racing.com are the organisers for this race. If you want to join some Assetto Corsa competition races, we run up to 6 races every single week. Every single weekend we run an endurance race just like this. So if you wish to join in with some of this, then please do consider checking us out, and we will see you in and around towards the next races. Wish everyone a good weekend, and we'll see you again soon.